Okay, so this bottom up identification that we are trying, so we could look at different questions, right? So let's look at, for instance, our earlier analysis of our customers in these shopping bills. So we had
tried to find
we had tried to decide which customers are similar to each other, right?
In terms of the buying behavior.
Yeah. So what we had done was we had kind of noted down in each category how many items appear in the bills of that customer.
Many line items,
Line
one
items,
row, one row we totaled one.
Yeah. So not the actual quantity, but how many times that category appears. Like, and then we also did some grouping. So we combined everything that was various things under utility and so on, household and utility. So then we came up these kind of numbers, right? So we said that these are the top 6 customers we identified in terms of number of
purchases.
Yeah, items, bills that they have, purchases. And we said, for example, that Ahmed had not bought any apparel item but had 18 entries for food, 5 entries for utility and so on. So we had done this in one direction. We had looked at the shopping data for each customer and tried to find similarities, differences, some patterns in that. But by what we were saying before, just like if you know somebody's marks, maybe you can find out
who it is,
what pattern of marks, have they done well in chemistry, have they done badly in physics, then it must be that student only, right? So here again, maybe you could just say if this person's most frequent purchase is food and maybe second most is right. So we could ask maybe the top 3, right? Something
top 3 purchases.
Top 3 categories.
What category?
Top 3 categories in order. What is the item type of item that this customer buys most often? Then what is the second most often and third most often?
And then from that,
see if we can identify the customer.
Oh, so decision tree you want to make similar to
similar decision tree. But now
this time you are not using the
so we have collected
only categories.
Yeah, categories.
One item. Yeah. The name of the category first. Yeah. But you have ordered the first.
So we are ordering it based on quantities. But we are not asking the actual quantities. We are just saying, is it more than this? Is food
so somebody bought highest amount. All the things they bought, food is the highest. Yeah. Followed by apparel. Let us say clothing they bought. Yeah. Third, the highest they bought household.
Correct.
Let us say.
Yeah. So you want to ask.
Is that one person or more than one person like that?
Yeah. So you want to ask something like, if somebody's food is say bigger than say utility, these are the top 3
things that they bought. Food is greater than utility, greater than
toiletries, say for example.
Say.
Right. Yeah. So if I have somebody who's number 1, so this is number 1, number 2, number 3. Right. So it's not just greater than, but they are the top 3 category items that this person has.
Who is this person?
Yeah. So does this uniquely identify the customer for?
The only thing I am telling you basically is that he bought 3 items. Firstly, he bought 3 items.
Yeah, 3 types of items. Yeah.
Must have bought all 3. Yeah.
Yeah. Must have bought all 3. Otherwise, yeah, if it is 0, then I am not going to put it.
Okay. He has bought 3 items.
Yeah. And if I count the amount of each item that he has bought, then these are the relative.
That's how. So amounts. First, out of the items he bought 3 items, and out of the items he bought, the maximum number of items was food. Second largest number of items, if you look at the shopping cart.
Yeah, across all the carts.
Across all the shopping carts.
Yeah, all the bills of
all the purchases he put in one cart.
So this is like a lifetime
analysis. Yeah. Okay. Put all of it in one cart, then you see the food is the largest, followed by utility, followed by toiletries. Yeah. Right? That is it enough to identify the person you're asking?
Correct.
Okay, I don't know. How do you do this? This is like.
So
like
we can.
Tree,
yeah, so like a tree, right? So we can.
You first check, but in this case it's food. Some other case it might be utility first, no?
Correct. Might be utility first, right? So we have to attach a label to each person. How do we do this?
Or you take branch each time 6. I don't know what you do. How do you do that?
So. Well, I suppose what we could do is we could start with 2 and then we could order them this way or that way. Is food bigger than utility, food smaller than utility?
Like that. So it's a tree, yeah?
And then we could decide whether toiletries goes on top
Actually,
or
okay, so 3, but there are 6 items.
Yeah, so we'll have to insert these
3.
Yeah.
6p3.
6p3. So lot of possibilities are
6
there.
into 5 into 4.
Hmm.
6 into 5, 30 into 4, 120.
Yeah. So 5
120.
only, no, 5 are there. 5.
5 into 4 into 3.
60. So
5 into 4, 20 into 3, 60. 60 different
ways in which you can write this.
write this 3. Oh my god. 60. Oh, you don't realize, huh? So that many are there, huh?
Yeah.
So you don't want to list that this meaningless. We don't want to list all the 60.
Yeah. So we want to find somehow which ones are
So
the
you're saying
better.
first take one pair at a time, huh?
Yeah. So we will try to incrementally build this, right? So first of all, we could.
Okay, we do it the way we did. We don't try algorithm, no?
Yeah, we're going to look at the data and so the data is, in some sense, we have got the data from these cards, but we have done one round of processing the cards. And we have summarized it in this kind of a tabular form. So we have this new data. And now in this new data, we want to ask these questions.
Let's start one by one. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
We'll go with Abhinav first. He's the first guy in the list.
Yeah.
What is his first item?
Food.
Second?
Apparel.
So if food greater than apparel, Abhinav, I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all. Don't need anything else.
Okay. So you have a rule which says food greater than apparel.
Abhinav. Let's see. If it breaks, we'll see now. That time we'll use this third thing, which is toiletry or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. So I come to the next row. Food is greater than apparel and it's Akshaya.
Oh, but toiletry is there. No, number 2 is toiletry.
Number 2 is toiletry. Okay. So food is greater than toiletry.
This is 1 and this is 2.
Yeah. So this is 1 and this is 2.
So in this case, it's food greater than toiletry. So then it becomes Akshaya.
Okay.
So far so good. It's working. Okay.
So
yeah.
Food greater than utility is Ahmed.
Food greater than utility, then it's Ahmed. All right. So far so good. Then Srivatsa. Food greater than
household.
It worked for this guy also. So we only need 2. First 2 you take and that's done. Looks like. But we are building it, looking at the data and figuring this out. Huh? That's the idea. Huh?
Yeah.
Food greater than household.
Srivatsa.
All right. Then?
Now we have food
And utility.
Utility are the same.
So it's like this.
Yeah. So it should be like this. And now we have a problem, right? So we have Advait also coming here.
Okay.
So just 2 items is not enough.
Third item is what now for them?
So the third item for Advait is apparel, and for Ahmed it's toiletries.
Okay. So now you separate them.
So now
by
you can
third item.
separate them, right? So if you go, so Ahmed goes towards toiletries.
Okay.
So if you ask the third question, I mean, you take the third item.
Only if you get food greater than utilities, you will ask this third question.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't. Okay, then?
And the last guy is
Toiletry is
greater than.
So, in fact, if the first item is toiletry, you can say it's Vignesh.
Yeah.
Don't even need to do anything. Don't even need the second item.
Nobody else is a fan of buying toiletries first.
If it is toiletries, it must be Vignesh.
Okay. So these are like.
So if the first item is toiletry, declare it as Vignesh. If the first item is food,
yeah,
then we can't say.
Then we have to ask at least one
second
more
item. If the second item is apparel, Abhinav. Second item is toiletry, Akshaya. But if it is utilities, even second item is not enough. Third item is toiletry, declare it as Ahmed. If it is apparel, declare it as Ahmed.
Okay.
So it works, but we don't know whether it will work for anybody other than this.
Yeah. So now we have to look at all the other data and then compile.
Can you take one more? Just let's see whether it works for the.
Okay. So let me see. We had written it down for some more people. Let's see if we have. So let me pick up Suresh.
Okay.
So there is Suresh. who is 5 food, 0, 5 food, 0 toiletry, 1 utility and 1 household.
So first item is food.
Mm.
So you are here.
Then second is say utility. Either you are in the Ahmed question or in the Srivatsan group, depending on how you break this type, because both are one. So let's say it is utility. So now we have Suresh also here.
Okay. And then?
And now
He has household, so it
household.
separates it.
So he is fortunately
Luckily we got a different one. Okay.
okay.
That works.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Okay. So let's see if there is somebody else in this who is interesting from our earlier data that we had done. There is Aparna, so maybe I'll write her on top. So these are all people who had few items, so we did not include them in this top 6. But Aparna is 1, 2, 1. So now Aparna is the only person
Who's got utility there.
So if I say utility,
It must be Aparna.
as a topmost thing.
So it works. I mean, it seems to work. See, I mean, if it doesn't work also, you can modify it. That's the cool thing about this method, right?
Yeah. So we can we can refine the rule, we can make a more elaborate rule. Like we had a rule with 2 things for Ahmed. When Advait came along, we had to refine it to 3. And then when Suresh came along, the 3 works, and we got one more case for the third one. So that's nice. So this kind of adapts itself. Of course, it may have, the order in which you get it, you may kind of find different sequences maybe of. Because now when somebody else comes to toiletries, then you'll have to grow a second question for Vignesh and so on.
So what you're saying basically is that if you give me a bill or give me 3 or 4 bills of one customer, I can look at those bills and I can say immediately, hey, this must be Vignesh.
Yeah. And
By the behavior.
Yeah. Correct.
This is what they do, no? I mean, this is right, what Facebook and
Yeah,
all
but
these
even
guys are trying to do that only, right?
yeah, but even
Google and all.
even the guys who are selling you like Amazon or Flipkart,
They're also doing that,
yeah, because they are saying
depending on what you buy.
yeah, because they will send you promotional mail saying, you know, you were interested in this kind of item to this week it is on offer, or you know.
So they are trying to figure you out by looking at what you have bought.
Yeah, and what other people have bought also. So they are also doing this similar customer business that we saw before. They will also say people who bought this bought that, saying, you know, why don't you also take a look at that? They're encouraging you to look at products.
So combination of both.
Yeah.
First they identify who you are.
Yeah.
In some sense.
Yeah. Or yeah. So they are trying to identify a group in some sense. Not they don't specifically want you. They want everybody who is like you, and then try to sell things which are
Seem to be
So by looking the buying pattern, they can target their. So if you are the type of person who buys utilities, and you are a unusual person like Aparna, then you would send promotional
offers on utilities
to Aparna.
And toiletries to Vignesh.
Toiletries to Vignesh.
And
And everybody else gets. But food, of course,